Some days the sun hangs just right over the cul-de-sac. The maple leaves flicker like they're applauding, and you think nothing can touch you. Then a woman in pressed white slacks marches across your own lawn with a clipboard and the conviction that the world still belongs to her. That was the Tuesday I met Eleanor Pratt, president of the Willow Ridge Homeowners Association, and the day she tried to have me arrested for eating pepperoni pizza on my own porch. I'm James Whitaker, 55, raised in the same city where my grandfather once played checkers on a stoop that's now a Starbucks. 2 years earlier, I'd quietly bought every house on the block, 12 in all, through Whitaker Properties. The plan was simple: dissolve the HOA, repaint the doors any color we wanted, and let kids leave their bikes on the grass without a fine. I was going to tell everyone at a community meeting the following week. All I wanted that afternoon was a quiet lunch and a tape measure. The pizza arrived hot, steam curling from the boxes. I set them on the porch rail of the corner house on Elm and Brookside. That's when Eleanor appeared, blonde helmet hair gleaming, eyes narrowed like she was pricing my existence and finding it wanting. "Can I help you?" she asked, though it sounded more like an eviction notice. "Just waiting on delivery," I said, calm as Sunday. She tapped her pen against the clipboard. "The Garcias moved out. This property is vacant. No loitering, no picnicking. Association Rule 14B. I laughed before I could stop myself. "Ma'am, I own the place. Deliveries for me." Her face rearranged itself into disbelief so pure it could have been bottled. "I'm Eleanor Pratt, president of Willow Ridge HOA. I am informed of every sale. This house was not sold to you." The word "you" carried a lifetime of assumptions. I felt the temperature drop 10 degrees. The delivery kid jogged up, handed over the boxes, took his 20, and vanished. The smell of garlic and oregano filled the air. Eleanor's nostrils flared like I'd unleashed a bioweapon. I tried again. "I bought this house. And the one next door. And the one after that." I let my eyes travel the street, slow enough for her to follow. She didn't. "You're lying. Squatters have gotten clever. I've seen the news." My pulse thudded in my ears, but I kept my hands visible. "Paperwork's in the car. My lunch is getting cold." That was the wrong thing to say. Dismissal was apparently a capital offense. She stepped onto my lawn, white pants now officially in peril, and pointed a manicured finger. "You are trespassing. Vacate immediately." "Eleanor," I said, voice low, "you have no authority here." She froze. Then, soft as a judge's gavel, I added the 4 words that changed everything. "I'm not under your HOA." Her eyes widened like I'd confessed to witchcraft. She fumbled for her phone. "You've made a mistake," she hissed, already dialing. I heard her side of the call clear as church bells. 911. "There's an aggressive man refusing to leave private property. He's threatening me." The world slowed. I knew the script. Black man, nice suit, alone on a porch. None of it mattered once fear was the narrator. I kept my hands on the rail, palms open, heart hammering. Neighbors peeked through blinds. An old-timer named Harold stepped out for his mail and pretended not to stare. 2 cruisers screamed in, lights strobing across beige siding. Officer Reynolds, gray at the temples and tired of nonsense, climbed out first. Officer Torres, younger and coiled tight, followed. Eleanor rushed them before their boots hit the curb. "Thank God. He threatened me. He won't leave." Reynolds looked at me, suit, pizza, calm, then at Eleanor. Doubt flickered. Torres wasn't buying yet. "Sir, step off the porch, hands where I can see them." I did exactly that, slow as sunrise. "Name's James Whitaker. I own the property." Torres snorted. "HOA president says otherwise." "ID. Inside jacket pocket." "May I reach?" Reynolds nodded. I moved like I was defusing something fragile. Handed over the wallet. Address was my downtown condo. Useful for taxes, useless here. "Doesn't prove ownership," Torres said. "Briefcase in the Lexus. Deeds are inside." Eleanor couldn't resist. "He's stalling. Probably fake papers. These people." Reynolds cut her off with a look sharp enough to shave with. "Ma'am." We formed a tense parade to my car. I popped the trunk. Torres lifted the briefcase onto the hood. Inside the top folder, closing statements, notarized deeds, a spreadsheet titled Willow Ridge Portfolio. I watched Reynolds' eyebrows climb as he read. Whitaker Properties 12 parcels, all contiguous. He looked up, scanned the street, then landed on Eleanor's house with its regulation roses. You own the whole block. Torres's arms dropped. Harold across the street whispered, well, I'll be. Eleanor's face cycled through every shade of pale. That's impossible. Illegal. Not illegal, Reynolds said, almost smiling. Real estate. And ma'am, you're the one disturbing private property now. I could have gloated. Instead, I spoke soft enough for only the four of us. Association charter requires a vote of owners. I am 100% of the owners. Meeting adjourned. HOA dissolved, effective immediately. Eleanor's clipboard sagged. The rules she'd weaponized for years were suddenly confetti. Reynolds warned her about false reports. Torres looked like he wanted popcorn. She shuffled home without another word. I ate cold pizza that tasted like victory. Word spread faster than gossip at a church picnic. Tenants called, wary. I moved the meeting up, printed flyers. Barbecue, Saturday, no bylaws, burgers provided. Bring a side and a story. Saturday, the lawn filled. Harold arrived with potato salad and a grin wider than the Mississippi. The Morales family brought their kids and a folding table. The Patels showed up with samosas and questions. We ate. We laughed. We traded horror stories. Fines for flamingos, for chalk drawings, for laughter after 9. I stood on the same porch steps and told them my grandfather's stories, stoops, stickball, Sunday dinners. Told them my plan, colorful doors, community garden, upgrades without rent hikes. One rule only, be a decent neighbor. They cheered. Harold wiped a tear. Eleanor's blinds stayed shut. Sunday I knocked anyway. She answered in a faded robe, smaller without her armor. I'm buying you out, I said, sliding a folder across her coffee table. Fair market plus 20%. Find a place that loves clipboards. She stared at the number, so long I thought she'd forgotten how to blink. I'll think about it. 30 days later, a modest truck backed into her drive. She directed movers with the ghost of her old bark. When the last box was loaded, I walked over. Safe travels, Eleanor. She clutched her purse. I found a gated community in Fairview. Strong association. I hope you're happy there. She nodded once, got in her sedan, and drove away without looking back. A kid on a bike yelled, "The witch is gone." His mom shushed him, but she was smiling. The block bloomed. Doors turned teal, butter yellow, barn red. Harold's tomatoes won ribbons. The old HOA lot became a garden where neighbors argued over zucchini recipes instead of grass height. The Morales kids learned piano in Eleanor's former fortress of beige. 1 year on, I still work from the corner house. Sometimes a pizza arrives for the new family next door. I wave, they offer a slice. Life keeps turning. Eleanor's story ends in Fairview, measuring someone else's lawn. Mine ends here, under maples that applaud every evening. Power isn't a clipboard. It's a porch where anyone can eat in peace. What about you? Ever watched fear turn a neighbor into a stranger? Ever seen rules choke the life out of a street? Drop your story in the comments, especially the moments when injustice stared you down and you decided how the next chapter would read. Stand up, speak plain, and let's keep the conversation going.